operating on a frequency of 52 megacycles by authority of the Federal Communications Commission. A test program follows.
To you who have been trained technically, I need hardly say that there's still a number of problems to solve. I guess you know them as well as anybody knows them. But I think we've proceeded far enough to justify the statement, at least, that these technical problems are not insurmountable.
Oh, we don't need to see. Red game.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Frank from Franel from the Cant team, the Urchins from Krakow. I'm playing with my deck Dr. Lubańska, which with 90 sauce. It's quite versatile deck. It has a lot of board control, a little bit of artifact control, which is quite important is in this upcoming matchup, and a little bit of archiving with on the fringes to control the Ember. It's quite good one, but it really depends on how you draw your cards, basically. Do you want me to talk a little bit about the upcoming matchup, or just? Yeah. I was playing with my opponent's deck because it's quite funny deck to play with. I really had a lot of joy playing this deck on the Crucible line. It has a lot of draw on Star Alliance cards and autoencoder, and of course Atom's Jar, which is a quite annoying card to play against. But yeah, it's really fun. It has a little. It's quite versatile. It has two Infernuses. It has board control with gateway of these, and it has a lot of draw with platform and Valley Reho, and a lot of attachments. So yeah, it's quite enjoyable. And with this matchup, I think that it really depends on how well I draw big creatures from Saurians, because he has only one board control, and he has only two Infernuses for Ember control. So if I generate Ember, he will not stop me, basically. So yeah, I think it's really depends on how we draw. So I give this matchup a 50 to 50 percentages. Quite poorly, but yeah, I think that, so I don't know. So it would be about 3-2, so something like that. So I didn't win half the games we played, so quite poorly, quite poor performance. But I think that when we match up against each other, it will be quite different. We will have 60 minutes for that game, so it will be a lot of thinking, tanking, as we are known about. As we think early for a really long time. It really matters the joy when you play. The the result is not as important as the joy you have playing your deck. So yeah, that's all I want to say for my opponent.
So this is Eric, aka Justice Blinded from Team Kip. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Ed's matchup and Ed's deck. Ed is most commonly known to the Keyforge community as Ugluck 4242, or the numbers at the end of his name. But his name is Ed. He hails from Canada. He's a recent addition to our team. I've been friends with him for a while, and was very happy to get him on our team recently. He's been ubiquitous force in the Keyforge community and the competitive scene for a while now. And he goes by the moniker Lord of Adaptive on Sanctimonious, but he's very good at all Keyforge formats that I'm aware of for sure. So as far as his deck goes, it's a Russian deck. The name roughly translates to Sad Panda something. We don't really care about the something, so we just call it Sad Panda because that might be one of the best like names for a deck in competitive Keyforge I've ever heard. So we love it. Panda it's a really fast deck. Like we have a lot of Worlds Collide decks on team, and we love the set a lot. We've been doing a lot of research on it. This was one of the decks that we found reasonably early on. It is a very fast deck that has a high level of efficiency, mostly due to stuff with Officer Nell, transport platform, upgrade shenanigans, like draw the whole deck. It's got auto encoder. You can also one of the key components of this deck that sometimes gets overlooked is reverse time. It kind of reminds me, I used to play Pink Fraud a fair amount when I was on Team SAS. I played it in a Vault Tour. And the reverse time in this deck kind of reminds me of the reverse time in Pink Fraud because it's a very useful tool where you can play a bunch of Star Alliance stuff, then next turn reverse time, so you're going to draw back into the Star Alliance stuff, potentially on like a Nell turn with platform and all that sort of things, when you draw the cards. Or you could play a bunch of this stuff. You could play a couple Infernuses, then Gateway, kill them, and then reverse time the next turn, get the Infernuses back. It's very toolboxy, very fast deck. In terms of the actual matchup that Ed will be playing, in our playtesting, it was a pretty close match. Like it was one where it could have gone either way. So it's not one where we feel, at least going into the match, there's a clear favorite. It depends a lot on different interactions. But it gets out, if it gets out to a fast start and it holds the board, it tends to do pretty well. Sometimes it can get blown off the table if you get a bad draw sequence or that sort of thing. But it's been really fun, and I think going into day two, the top cut, if you will, this tournament, Ed had not lost with Panda. He won like 6 straight games in the or 5 or whatever it was in the prelims. So it's a real fun deck. It's fun to watch. It's very viewer friendly, and we like it a lot.
So the last game today, red players decks. On the left side, we see deck from the Zenzix team, and on the right side, we see our red players deck. It's Franul's deck, and here, that's actually pretty interesting matchup, because our opponent has some answers to our premium cards, like access denied on our Philosophosaurus, but maybe Ethan's Jar to our Golden Spirals or our Eon the Fringes. Maybe he could purge our Eon the Fringes from discard pile with his Infernus, but his Ember Control is lacking. I would say the double Infernus, Whale of the Damned, and Access Denied is not an efficient Ember Control here, especially against the deck that could pretty much rush with this Golden Spirals, with Philosophosaurus, with Spartosaur. So I believe this is our strong side here in this matchup. But Robic, you could say something about this our opponent's deck here. Maybe you have some insights.
Yeah. Just judging from our preparation, the whole matchup is decided by the draw of also our Saurian, because the Saurian in this deck is basically the sweetest, as well as their board wipes being drawn, like BDQ and Gateway to this, because if we can establish Saurian board, even the access denied is not as powerful because the Spartosaur just wants to fight and get to Amber from it. Um, and if you can just leave, and if we can get these Saurians to play for a few turns, we are rushing too much for the opponent. And if we can just gateway the first set of Saurians and then BDQ the last ones, when we can replay the others, that this matchup is getting closer. But as you've said, double Infernus is really not enough to stop the good generation in our deck. So the only thing I see is the 20 speed, which can just make them Infernuses come back with a reverse time shenanigans and so on. The autoencoder being able to get through deck, discarding useless creatures, and making us not being able to fight with Balthazar can be huge. As well as, of course, this combo with transport and platform and many actually many upgrades with draw can make you just redraw the Infernuses as fast as possible. But yeah, the whole strategy, the whole matchup, in my opinion, is based on Team Zenzi having the answer like board wipes to our Sorian when they get played. If not, I feel like we should be favorite. If they have the answer, it should be around the coin toss. So I feel actually pretty confident in our red player to win the matchup.
So if you say that we are pretty confident to win this, are you thinking about 80% or less? Because I think that it's not decided yet. It's closer to a coin toss. Maybe not as close as my matchup, but what do you think about 70-30?
It should be fine. I feel like if we can like give a little bit more respect to the efficiency and like eight drop pips, especially
Yep.
on upgrades with the officer Nell and some sort of like transhalter platform, and also Valgerico speeding up, we can give it even 65-35.
Okay.
It's not the end of the world. I feel like the shark onto autoencoder can be huge. Uh, because the autoencoder from the start can also like ensure the speed of the deck. So 65 should be fine. Should be fair.
Cool. So let's watch this matchup.
Right, guys, we're back. Brett, say something.
I'm actually unmuted.
Oh,
Yay!
we found the problem.
Look at this turn. So we've got Ugluck with a auto encoder, beautiful turn one play. But then we've also got Franel with a neutral shack. Oh, drops it Buckton instead. Very interesting. I'd have dropped the auto encoder because it allows you to start cycling. But Telltale Vapors drops the Hapsis, holds archived the Shark. Very interesting. Oh, Bob Buckton into Mark of Dis. Plays the auto encoder, plays the Infomorph, plays Bounce to Deathcock. So not going for the archive value, but just wanted to clear the board. But luckily we've got Franel has to go Logos. Gets the Neutron Shark from the archives, blows up our encoder, gets Hetatum from Wild Wormhole, so no quite value there.
Ugluck is one of the KSPL players.
Ugluck's one of the most known players in the community. Obsidian Fudge comes down, discards Wall of the Damned, get the archive thanks to the Shark, plays the Furnace, gets Franel down. Julian's asking how much shipping would be on the playmats.
We don't know how much they are going to produce them at the DM me.
Exhume, bring back Daughter, go for that draw value, place Harbinger Doom. Bloodshard Imp and Harbinger Doom is a nice combination you can play. Discards Hysteria, but just being able to reap with the Harbinger Doom to immediately sack it is an amazing thing. But as you can see, these games were recorded out of order because you've still got the blue lines and the blue boxes behind the hand. Positron Bolt finishes off Quaint, Edite, and here we go. Franel just stacking the board. as we heard in Franel's interview, he's looking for these removal, these gateways to dis and all these board wipes to be gone by the time the Saurians come down. And it looks like he's getting his way. Golden Spiral's going to come down. Then we're going to see a Philosophosaurus with a ward and an Imperial Scum. It's going to make that 3 fates a bit harder to pop off. But pretty strong. Access denied on the Philosophosaurus, not able to reap, but it's huge. Gets an Oswin down. Oswin with the ability that when it reaps, gain 1 for each upgrade on it. But immediately gets destroyed thanks to 3 fates. Drops EE. Discards all. It's definitely a discard of all 3 disc creatures here. There's no way you don't do anything else. And thanks to the fact that Ugluk's been playing this, is able to purge a lot of the cards from there. I may have accidentally skipped a turn there, it appears, but who knows. 6 Emperor destroys the Philosophosaurus, gets down Spinosaurus, uses the ability from Spinosaurus to gain more, and Franel gets himself straight back up to 6. This was exactly what they were saying, is now the board wipes are gone, the Saurian board is going to be key. Drekka comes down, but Drekka is no match for what we've got here. Drekka's going to immediately get wiped out by the Spinosaurus. Nice work with the steel. It doesn't look like Ugluk's going to get a key, but Franel is so far ahead. Fights. Well, he's 1 key ahead, but he's on check for his second key. With an amazing setup and no board, and this is the issue with Saurian, is once you've got Saurian down, you don't need to go anything else. Once you've got a board setup like this, Franel goes.
Oh, that's the FPL.
This is the Val Jericho's come far too late. Ian's Jazz comes far too late. He lost the auto encoder far too early, and now Franel gets to 6. She make that 7 thanks to the Golden Spiral. And there's Mindfire. It could have hit if there was Dust Pixies or double pips in hand. Goes well, Jericho looking for capture options. Plays Mindfire. Does get the Twin Bolt. Knocks Franel down to 6. Plays Survey. Gets 1 damage off the Survey. And that's it. It really was. Franel, once those board wipes were gone, Franel knew exactly what to do, and that was get the creatures down